Welcome to Your Family's Health, the program that focuses on healthcare issues with unique and different modalities for taking charge of your health today. Experts talk weekly with our continuing roster of guests from around the country and right here in Nassau County to keep you up to date on the latest health issues and trends. Take care of your mind, body, and soul. Spend the next half hour with the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC, and get on the journey to better health.
Hello and welcome to Your Family's Health. My name is Joan Buckley from the Nursing Department here at Nassau Community College. And today you're going to learn about the role that nurses have in healthcare. Since I'm part of the department that trains and mentors the next generation of nurses who could one day be taking care of you, we thought you might want to learn about our role in the healthcare system. My guest today is Dr. Rebecca Hegel, Program Director, both of the SUNY Empire State College School of Nursing and Allied Health. Dr. Hegel, welcome to Your Family's Health on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Hi, Joan. It's nice to see you. It's nice to be here. Thanks so much for having me. As Joan said, I am the Program Director at SUNY Empire State College School of Nursing and Allied Health, and I am one of the most blessed people in the world because I love my job at the college. I love what I do working for SUNY. So that is it about me. In terms of my clinical expertise, I am an active family nurse practitioner. In addition to my job as program director, I think it's important to stay connected in the field and get that experience that we can then bring back to the education component of the program.
You know, this is a SUNY, Nassau Community College is a SUNY institution as well. And you said it's good working here, and it absolutely is. We have a lot of really great experiences and connections just being in that SUNY system. But something very different about Empire State College. Can you talk to us about SUNY Empire State College? Not just School of Nursing, but in general, what is the difference between us and you?
So SUNY Empire State College is unique in our mentoring model of adult learners. We have several various locations throughout New York State where students can come and do residency groups or work one-on-one with a mentor. And this is a very different environment than, say, a traditional college setting. However, the nursing program at Empire is all online. We do not do those face-to-face courses. However, this fall, and I'll talk about that later, this fall we are going to do a pilot program with another SUNY school. Orange will be offering a health assessment course there face-to-face. So that will be exciting.
Now, how would you describe the areas that your students come from? You said you're up in Saratoga. So where do your students come from?
So Saratoga is the hub of the college. This is where our administrative offices are. We have our president, our financial aid, our registrar's office, all of our, program admin leadership settings are here in Saratoga. However, our students, oh my gosh, we have so many students from downstate in the nursing program. If I had to guess off the top of my head, I would say about 65% of our students in the nursing program are from downstate.
Now, you refer to downstate as us down here.
Yes, right? Down here. Yep.
Right. And we have had a relationship for years with Empire State College. And the difference is now that maybe you describe it, because I know I talk about it all the time, but how do you see the difference in our relationship? We've been what they call a feeder school for your school. Students would finish at Nassau Community College in our nursing program, and then they would apply and go right on into Empire State. And we've always had an agreement with them that our students would be welcome. And now we've changed it a little bit, where we're actually bringing your program into our program. And the way I describe it here to people that are asking questions about it is that there are students in both schools at the same time now. It's not finish Nassau and then go on to Empire State College. It's get accepted into Nassau Community College and you're accepted into SUNY Empire State. So they're accepted into two colleges at one time. And do you have anything to add to that kind of clarifies it? Because it is kind of a new concept.
Joan, I think you summarized it really well. What I can say is that this is truly an innovative program. This is a multi-award program. So for that beginning nurse who does not have her RN license yet, and she wants to come into the profession, she's going to apply at NASA. And when she's applying at NASA, she's also going to be automatically applying into our SUNY Empire State College program to get her bachelor's degree. The students are enrolled in both programs. They take their fundamentals course at your institution, Joan. They take their higher level courses at our institution. They are able to cross-register, meaning that they're eligible for financial aid no matter where they're taking courses. So, for example, they could take 2 nursing courses at NASA in the semester and 1 course at Empire in the same semester, and they're still considered a full-time student in this RN to BSN program. And the reason this program is so different, so unique, and so important in educating the future of nurses is that I'm not sure how much your audience knows about the BSN in 10 legislation that is required for all registered nurses in the state. What that basically means is, when I became a nurse, and maybe when you became a nurse, Joan, if we wanted to just keep an associate degree and practice, we could. That's no longer the case. Students now must have a baccalaureate degree to practice nursing in New York State within 10 years of graduation. So this partnership is really at the forefront of this legislation and initiative, and getting our nurses ready to work out there. As you know, there's a staffing shortage, and we need nurses who can do the job and make critical decisions at the bedside.
So we are a 4-year school. So anybody that's listening can just expect to plan a 4-year piece of their life is going to be to prepare them to be a nurse. In our world, and Rebecca, correct me if I'm wrong, but we think that we are both incredibly strong programs, and together, and I think your school used it as a little slogan, together we're better, or better together.
Yeah,
something like that. Better together. Now, that it doesn't mean there's no issues. It doesn't mean we haven't had to overcome a lot of problems. But our first class, or our first group of students that was taken in, was in 2019 fall. So right now we're seeing those students are now students on the campus of Empire State College. And they are, I think we don't want to say many, but some, okay, we'll leave it at an abstract number. Some are actually going to be graduating the end of this month. So that we're very excited about. So not only are we a 4-year school, but for the right student in the right situation, and that's different for every single student, what is the right situation, they can complete the program in less time than 4 years. The advisement, now, Rebecca, you talked about the advisement. That's key. How do you see the advisement for this program to really be successful?
Advisement is so important in this program, Joan, because several of the nursing students coming into the profession might already have a degree in another field. So we want to make sure, right, it's our job as partners between NASA and Empire. I want to stress our relationship is not competitive at all. We are true partners. We have a great collaboration. I'm so really appreciative to be a part of this venture with NASA. And the mentoring piece is important for those second career students, because they might not need all of the general education courses that a first career student might need. We have possibilities for our students to take 8-week courses, 15-week courses. And like you said, Joan, traditionally it is a 4-year program, but there are several motivated students or students who have had prior life experience, which they can get college credit for, where they can complete this degree in maybe 2.5, 3 years if they're really motivated.
You're listening to Your Family's Health on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Joan Buckley from the nursing department here at Nassau Community College, and today you're learning about the role of nurses in healthcare. My guest is Dr. Rebecca Hegel, Program Director for SUNY Empire State College School of Nursing and Allied Health. Now, Rebecca, you said that we are we're compatible. Nassau and Empire is compatible. Our administrators are also very compatible. We've had a lot of support. And I think when your school comes up with an idea, we see the value So I think we are out of the box. I hate to use that term, but out of the box thinkers. And as the program has gone on, everything changes. Every semester, something comes up that was never there before. So we've had to make enough changes in the program already, even though it's not that old, that have made it better and have made it more successful at bringing the healthcare field qualified, strong nurses. So the one question I had for you, Rebecca, how did this change your job? How did it change your job? I know how it changed mine.
I don't know if it's so much out of the box thinking as it is a continual evolving process, right? We're forward thinking. Yeah. We're forward moving. And our job has been to really, my job has changed in doing some problem solving. How do we improve the program? How do we make the program better? As you said, we started in 2019. We're seeing those graduates now. We're getting feedback from those graduates, and they have been so critical in giving us feedback of what we can do better and what's working really well. And the bottom line is, since 2019, this program is working really well, right? It's just some structural things that, have changed and have, evolved. But overall, it's really been wonderful. I've definitely been able to meet a lot of people on the Nassau side and the Empire side. For example, registration folks, financial aid folks. I mean, I have learned so much about state regulations that I never knew 3 years ago. So this has been really good for me.
I feel the same way. And I do, you mentioned registration. And when we talk about the world of computers and things like that and programming, who thought it was going to bother us? We had the whole program down solid. We had our courses aligned. We had our faculty teaching. We had students registering. Who knew that the registration process was going to be so not difficult? It's not a difficult process, but it's two different schools trying to merge. So not only did nursing have to be open and respectful, but so did all the areas of registration, admissions, and all of those folks. And you're absolutely right. In 3 years, I've learned more than I really ever thought I would need to learn, want to learn. To me, that makes so much sense. And especially you referred to financial aid. And it's the truth. The government has allotted so much here, so much there. But the financial aid department is key to figuring out how to use all the things that are available to the students. So I know on our end, and I'm sure by the time they get to you, they've submitted their FAFSA 4 times at least, and they've updated all their paperwork, and maybe they changed their plan. Maybe they were full-time and getting full-time financial aid, and now they're doing a low-interest education loan. But that's what I thought that was really interesting for me, was starting to really focus on this budgeting education, because I really didn't think of it quite that way, because we've always been a non-traditional student, right? They transfer in most of their courses. We in the department only had to work on really the nursing courses. And now we have to look at the whole program, which is really the way it should be, maybe, but that's definitely the way it is now. Everyone's involved. How about your advisors? I know you've done some pretty innovative things with your advisement.
Our advisors have been so good. And again, right, this is another area of collaboration. Our advisors and your advisors have worked so closely together to, recognize any student issues, to, correct those issues, to, raise awareness, again, about what can we be doing better and what's working well. And, our advisors have been so creative. We've had a couple of students where, it might be their second career and, they don't need as many gen eds, but they still need to complete what's called the total credits required for the baccalaureate program, which is 124 credits. So, our mentors will work with those students to learn about prior learning assessment, getting them credit for college credit for prior learning, or perhaps, getting them enrolled in a master's level course, just doing some really innovative things to keep the student moving forward and enrolled and getting them to their time goal graduation, deadline that they have.
Can you talk a little bit about your master's level? We don't usually focus on it because we're the AS portion and you're the BS portion, even though we're the AS-BS portion. How about your master's level? It's a little different than other schools, but you offer a very strong program.
Yeah, great. We do have a master's in nursing education program and a master's in nursing administration program. We began those programs in 2015. And, again, it's a very seamless transition for our baccalaureate students. It's a seamless transition for most any other SUNY or CUNY graduate because we accept pretty much almost all of the credits that a student will come in with. Now, there is a disclaimer with that, right? That individual student, degree program requirements vary. But it's a good program. It's a great program for students who want flexibility. We have 8-week courses, 15-week courses. We have great clinical experiences. Our clinical requirements for the master's program are only 45 hours, and that is much less than any other SUNY school with a master's program. So that's definitely a benefit to students who come to our program. But during that time, they work with a preceptor and, they're able to really complete a meaningful capstone project that they can bring back to their place of employment.
I think it's quite nice. And I do hear a lot of positive, and you're absolutely right. The students do tell us when things aren't working, and it's not a bad thing. And I think that it's received very well on your end. It's usually our end, not so much. Because our courses have stayed the same, we've added your courses. But I think the students are very respectful. For the most part, they really just want to know how to fix it. And you've introduced the advisor role for our students, are getting them now way before they graduate. They're going to get them a couple of months before they even graduate, so that second portion of their learning is also kind of guided, and the advisement is there before they start. So I just think the advisement is like amazing, and every single student has a different person and has a different story. And that's why I think Nassau and Empire have that same mission. Like, we really are here for the students that live in our communities. And your community is a little weird, and you call us downstate, which we think of, I think, as downstate college. But it's okay, because now I understand it. See, I didn't understand that before. So what do you think? What do you think for the future? If you have your master's now in administration education, do you see yourselves as being clinical masters coming up at all down the road? I know you have articulation agreements.
I think that SUNY Empire State College would be very well situated if we did start to open up our doors and explore other options for these allied health professions, because they're so important, right, in to help the healthcare shortage.
Yeah. You're listening to Your Family's Health on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name's Joan Buckley from the nursing department here at Nassau Community College. And today you're learning about the role that nurses have in healthcare. And my guest, Dr. Rebecca Hagel, Program Director from SUNY Empire State College School of Nursing and Allied Health, has been invaluable, giving us some insight. You teach as well. And,
I do.
And the fact that you mentioned that you give 8-week and 15-week courses for the same course. So anybody that's not familiar with it, it means that you might take a health assessment, say, for 8 weeks, or you could take health assessment for 15 weeks, which makes this very, really great for our students who have they have children, they have a job, they may be taking care of a parent, they have all these things that for them, if they can work hard for 8 weeks, they get a little break maybe, and they only have to focus on Nassau's courses or another course. So it works really on both sides of the degrees. So it works really well on the Nassau part, and it works really well on the Empire part. The other thing that I think that Empire has been so open to is we've always utilized our summers. And over the semesters, every semester, something changes. And we've actually started to really see what it's like to be a student. That's how I feel. I feel like I'm really seeing the program now through the eyes of the students, with all the little nuances that can interfere or make it successful. How do you feel about that, Rebecca? I'm sure you're seeing that same on your side.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely seeing the program through a student's lens. You know, students are excited. Students reach out to us. You know, it's interesting because I just heard a fact about how, I want to say it said something like 70% of students want online courses, but that same 70% wants face-to-face interaction when it comes to administrative services such as mentoring, financial aid, registration, right? Those are the areas where they need some hand-holding and, you know, support and guidance. And, you know, we, I think, are so well positioned to be there for those students, you know, through our individual mentoring relationships, our full-time faculty, you know, the folks on your side, Joan. So I think that we've really made progress in being there for the student and meeting the student where they need to be met.
Have we had to compromise our quality of education at all so far with this program? I've tried to think of it because I saw the question and I'm thinking, I don't think so.
No, not at all. No, this is such a high quality, innovative program. As I said very early on, it's collaborative. It is forward thinking. It's putting nurses at the forefront of their peers because they're earning 2 degrees at the same time. You know, it could be a little difficult in other programs to, you know, go from your RN degree and then your BSN degree.
Well, I know it took me 10 years to do the BSN because your life gets back in the middle of education.
Exactly.
So by staying consistent, and you used kind of seamless, I think you said seamless.
Seamless.
It really does avoid all that. I never had to choose whether or not I was going to take a course next semester. It's assumed that you're going to take a course next semester because that's the program you're in. I don't know. I'm thinking back. I'm not a diploma nurse. I'm an associate degree graduate. But 4-year schools, you start, you finish.
Yep.
Associate degree had its role. It got people in the community, career change people, back into the workforce at a higher rate of pay, so they could afford things that were very difficult here on Long Island. And I'm thinking most of downstate. You know, it's expensive to live, and once you start having family, and you know, you want it to work forever, and the opportunity to get it out of the way with this one block of time, and it's a short block of time that goes really quickly. So I haven't heard anyone that's been following this through saying they wish they had done something else. How about you, Rebecca, on your end? Are you hearing anybody? I mean, you hear little complaints, but it's nothing. It's not really even a complaint. It's usually just stress talk.
No, I mean, if anything, we're getting so much feedback from students to say, you know, offer the 8-week courses in both terms. You know, we want to finish. I mean, they want these students, like you said, right, are really taking this 4-year, you know, this traditional 4-year model and shrinking it down, you know, trying to get their bachelor's degree in 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah. And they
I applaud those students. I applaud that drive because, you know, like I think you said, Joan, statistically, you know, it took you 10 years and the average nurse takes 7 years between their associate degree and their baccalaureate degree. These nurses today don't have that time with the 10-year BSN legislation, right? We don't have that time anymore.
In the beginning, our program's tough. Your program's tough. We didn't compromise anything. We adjusted the length of the course. We've added it possibly to a summer agenda if a student qualifies and the advisor agrees. But students in the beginning were concerned that it was so hard. It was so hard, but they stayed. That was the interesting part. It's so hard. But we're talking about just getting used to a different platform, educational platform, or just getting used to a different advisor or a different, you know, even the light at the end of the tunnel looks different when you're going for your bachelor's than it does when you start as an associate degree nurse. How do you feel about that?
You know what, Joan? Nursing is hard. I can't imagine what it's like for dental students or physician assistant students or dietitians, but we are a licensed, registered profession in the state of New York, in every state, and we are held to a standard of accountability. We are literally managing and caring for people's life. This is not an easy degree. So the education, it needs to be rigorous. It is rigorous, and it takes a certain individual to be able to, withstand that rigor and want to pursue that and go forward, I believe.
Yeah, and I think we did that with this unique multi-award program. I want to thank you, Rebecca, for being here with us on our show and doing the great work you do and doing the great work with us here at Nassau Community College. What's your website if someone's interested in looking at your program and ours?
Students can reach the School of Nursing and Allied Health at www.esc.edu/nursing and allied health. Again, that's www.esc.edu/nursing allied health.
Well, thank you very much. And like I said, thank you for coming and being here with our listening audience.
Thank you so much. And you're always welcome to write to me directly at rebecca.hagel@esc.edu.
You are listening to Joan Buckley here at Nassau Community College and Rebecca Hegel from Empire State College. And we want to thank all of you for listening to this week's edition of Your Family's Health.
We'd like to get your feedback on your family's health. Send your comments by emailing them to whpc@ncc.edu. Podcasts of today's show are available on iTunes, Android Podcasts, and Spreaker. This program was produced at the studios of Nassau Community College in cooperation with the Nursing Department. Join us next week for another edition of Your Family's Health on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.